Huzzah, Boxing Nation, where boxing lives, breathes, and breaks down. Gervonta Tank Davis just fought to a shocking draw with Lamont Roach and is now moving up multiple divisions for an exhibition with Jake Paul in Florida. David Benavidez is set to face Anthony Yarde in a highly anticipated fight in Saudi Arabia. Tomorrow, we also have Eimantas Stanionis versus Jabulani Matkins. That fight's going to be extremely interesting. Plus some upcoming fights that you need to be prepared for. And then for your favorite segment, on this day in boxing history. Let's break this all down. Tomorrow, we've got a welterweight fight. Eimantas Stanionis, who is 15 wins, 1 loss, and 9 big wins coming our way of knockout, versus Jabulani Matkins, who is 16 wins, 3 losses, and 8 big wins coming by way of knockout. The 30-year-old Lithuanian is known for his durability. He has an extremely sharp jab and grinding pressure. His only career loss comes to Gervonta Ennis, who was arguably the most complete fighter at 147 pounds today. But that defeat tested Eimantas Stanionis in ways that highlighted his toughness and willingness to face the best. He's hungry to bounce back, and a dominant win here keeps him relevant in a stacked welterweight picture. From South Africa, Matkins brings a record of 16 wins, 3 losses, and 8 big wins coming by way of knockout. He's an athletic mover who relies on speed and timing rather than brute force. His biggest challenge has been his consistency. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but hasn't always put it together against top opposition. Against Eimantas Stanionis, he'll need to box the perfect fight, keep the distance, use lateral movement, and frustrate the pressure fighter Eimantas Stanionis. Eimantas Stanionis, he must double and triple the jab, target the body early, and drag Matkins into deep waters. If he can keep the pace extremely high, his pressure should break Matkins down by the later rounds. Matkins must stay on his toes, pick his shots and burst, and avoid getting pinned on the ropes. He must win rounds with movement and his counterpunching ability. For Eimantas Stanionis, this is a redemption fight. Another setback could stall his career, just as big money fights are becoming available at welterweight. For Matkins, an upset here could be career changing. It would catapult him into world rankings and give South African boxing another name to rally behind. This isn't just a flashy main event, but it's a true test of resilience and hunger at 147 pounds. A division where one big win can open the door to life-changing opportunities. We've seen that for Terrence Bud Crawford, who is 3-time undisputed 4-division world champion. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Eimantas Stanionis versus Matkins. Gervonta Tank Davis now sits at 30 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, with 28 big wins coming by way of knockout. But that 1 draw is making headlines. It's against Lamont Roach. Few expected Gervonta Tank Davis to struggle, but he fought this guy twice in the amateurs, and I believe that this was their 3rd or 4th fight. But Lamont Roach's disciplined jab, his movement, and ability to control distance forced Gervonta Davis into a tough night. Fans are divided. Some argue that Gervonta Tank Davis still did enough to win the fight. Others say Lamont Roach earned more respect than ever before. Either way, Gervonta Tank Davis' aura and invincibility took a hit. And instead of running it back with Lamont Roach or chasing a legacy-defining opponent at lightweight or super lightweight, Gervonta Tank Davis has shocked the boxing community by signing for an exhibition against Jake Paul. Jake Paul's record is 12 wins, 1 loss, and 7 big wins coming by way of knockout. The contracted weight for this fight is reportedly 195 pounds, nearly 60 pounds heavier than Tank's natural fighting weight. Stylistically, this is bizarre. Gervonta Tank Davis's power is his greatest weapon, but at 135 pounds. But against a cruiserweight frame like Jake Paul, the risk of looking undersized is huge. Even though this is just an exhibition, a poor showing could tarnish Tank's reputation. Fans will question whether he's more interested in circus fights or championship legacy. If Gervonta Tank Davis wins decisively, he pockets a huge payday while keeping his name buzzing in the boxing world. But if he struggles, or worse, gets embarrassed or knocked out, it could overshadow everything he's built thus far. Let me know how you guys feel about this fight in the comments below. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Jake Paul in Florida. The light heavyweight division just got electrified with David Benavidez, who has 30 wins, 0 losses, and 24 big wins coming by way of knockout, who's moving up from super middleweight. This is his third fight for moving up from super middleweight to take on the hard-hitting Anthony Yarde, who has 27 wins, 3 losses, and 24 big wins coming by way of knockout. He's nicknamed the Ecuadorian Monster or El Monstro. He is known for his relentless volume punching and nonstop pressure. At 6'2", with a 77-inch reach, he'll likely give Anthony Yarde a reach advantage battle. But moving up in weight may slightly reduce his speed and explosiveness. He's still adjusting to 175 pounds. I know that he's saying that he's comfortable here, and this is his third fight. He has a little bit more work to do in order to fill out in this division. The key for David Benavidez will be to carry his power up effectively and maintain his pressure without tiring over 12 rounds, especially because Anthony Yarde tires out within the second half of the fight. So if he can capitalize at that point, he will more than likely dominate this fight. We have Anthony Yarde, the British knockout artist, who is always packed huge one-punch power. At light heavyweight, he could be even more dangerous because David Benavidez is now facing a naturally bigger and stronger opponents. Anthony Yarde's strengths remain his timing, power, and ability to make opponents pay when they overcommit. His main concern is his stamina in a high-pressure fight, especially against someone like David Benavidez, who fights in bursts and throws almost 100 punches around at light heavyweight. Stylistically, David Benavidez moving up in weight, he must rely on volume and combinations to break Anthony Yarde down, similar to what he did at super middleweight. If he can maintain constant pressure and force Anthony Yarde into exchanges, he can neutralize the British puncher's size and strength advantage. Anthony Yarde, he needs to use his speed, distance management, and timing. Early rounds are critical. Landing hard shots and keeping David Benavidez off balance can swing a fight in his favor. If he doesn't hurt David Benavidez early, he risks being outworked over in the championship rounds. If David Benavidez wins, he would prove he can carry his dominance up in weight and immediately become a serious contender at 175. Anthony Yarde that took on a guy that fought Benavidez, Sergey Kovalev, and gave him an extremely tough fight. So if David Benavidez can beat this guy, that just shows his potential in this division. Potentially lining up fights with guys like Vergil or Benavidez if he does beat Anthony Yarde. If Anthony Yarde wins, it's a career-defining upset that solidifies him as a dangerous force in a light heavyweight division. And it sets up a lot more blockbuster fights against top contenders in this division for himself. Let me know how you guys feel about this fight in the comments below. David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And now for your favorite segment on this day in boxing history. The legendary rivalry between Sandy Saddler and Willie Pep ended in chaos. Their fourth meeting was as rough as it gets. Headlocks, holding, eye gouging, you name it. Pep retired on his stool after the 9th round, giving Saddler a TKO victory. This rivalry remains one of the most notorious in boxing history, blending brilliance with brutality. We also have Jack Dempsey versus Billy Miske. This was heavyweight legend Jack Dempsey defending his title in Benton Harbor, Michigan. knocking down Billy Miske 3 times before stopping him in round 3. Sadly, Miske was already battling kidney disease and passed away just a year later. This fight is remembered as both a showcase of Jack Dempsey's ferocity and tragic reminder of boxing's human cost. But that wraps up my segments for today. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on an update. But this is Boxing Nation, where champions get analyzed and legends are made. And if you're new here, keep your hands up, and I'll catch you in the next one.